Good evening and welcome to the Cherry Hill West Weekly Report. I'm Matt Cohen.
And I'm Allison Grass. The TAP test will be given to all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors on Wednesday, April 13th from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9:55 a.m. English teachers will notify the students of the testing rooms this Friday. Seniors are to report for homeroom at 10 o'clock a.m. on April 13th. Bus routes will be rerun 2 hours later to pick up the seniors.
The sophomore and senior classes are going to Great Adventure on Saturday, April 16th. The cost of the trip is $15. Seniors should pay in G3 during homeroom and sophomores in E16.
On behalf of Cherry Hill West, I would personally like to welcome the French and Italian exchange students who are staying with us the next 2 weeks. We had an opportunity to interview two of these foreign students, Anna Maria Tellini and Valerie Dinola, and their hosts, Janine Capello and Elizabeth Snyder.
We'd like to welcome you to Cherry Hill West in the United States. Bonjour.
Bonjour now. What was it like coming to America? Was it frightening for you?
Well, not really frightening. I think it was very exciting, and I think it's a good experience to know each other better and to understand the United States better too.
How about you? Were you frightened when you came to America?
Yes, me too. I was very excited because it's everything too big, but I think it's been a very beautiful experience too.
What is your thoughts of America? Do you like America? Are you happy here?
Yes, I'm happy here. Well, I think it's different, but it's nice.
Do you feel comfortable?
Oh, yes, of course.
How about you? Do you feel comfortable? Are you happy to be here?
Oh yes, I'm very happy to be here. Your life is very different than ours.
Like, how would you say different?
But everything is different. The school, the food, I don't know, everything.
Well, talking about schools, while we're talking to you, how are the schools different in America compared to Europe? Are there any, the schedules, are they different?
First, the school, your school is very big. You change always a classroom when you finish your lesson. In Italy, we don't change. We have a classroom and we stay here, there, all the time. We study only the morning, not the afternoon.
Okay. How about in France? Is it any different there?
Well, in France, we have class all the day, and, well, we stop longer for lunch. We have a timetable for all the week, not just for one day, because you have the same timetable for all the days, so for each day you have the same thing at the same hour, but we change every day.
I want to address this one to the hosts of both families. How do both you enjoy having these students, and what will you be doing while they're staying here? We can start with you.
Well, I like having her. I stayed in her house while I was in France, and we've become friends through writing to each other, and I'm glad to have her stay with me. We don't really know what we're going to do with her yet. We have the weekend, and we're going to decide. Maybe take her to Philadelphia. I don't know.
Janine?
Basically the same thing. We've become friends when I went over there, and our families got close. Her families, in fact, even wrote my family a letter, thanking them for taking her. And basically, we've been taking them. We took her to Philadelphia to see Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, and we're taking her to South Street, as a matter of fact, today.
Did you like Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell?
Oh yes.
Okay, thank you for letting us interview you, and we hope you both enjoy the rest of your stay here in the United States. Thank you.
Thanks.
Once again, it's time for the annual one-act play competition, which will be held on Friday evening, April 29th. This is the 14th annual competition, making it one of West's longest-running annual events. Class comps involves all four classes where each class presents a one-act play and is judged in 3 different areas, one being acting, the second production, and third the overall effect. This year looks to be another great year for the competition. This year's incoming freshman class is now preparing their play, Snow White and Friends, which is a modern, updated version of the original classic. Their play is being directed by Shari Udell. The sophomore class is doing a play about a janitor and his friends who meet up with many of the diversities of life in their apartment basement. This drama is being directed by Shari Moskovich and looks to be very good. This year's junior class winner of last year's competition, is doing Lucille Fletcher's murder mystery, Sorry, Wrong Number. This play is about a woman invalid who overhears a murder being plotted. Little does she know the murder is being plotted against her. This play is being directed by Matt Cohen. Finally, but not lastly, the seniors will be performing the first act of Noel Coward's Sly Spirit. This ghostly comedy about a man and his reuniting with his former wife will be directed by Mary Townsend. So if your calendar is free on April 29th, come to see some of Cherry Hill West's finest theatrics. I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
Final auditions for the Gong Show are on Wednesday, April 6th, and Thursday, April 7th. See Scott Broder, Stephen and Jane, or Mr. Steele for the actual audition time. Tickets for the senior prom will be sold from April 18th to April 29th.
Congratulations to Randy Milak for winning the Purple Heart Award. Randy is a nurse's aide and is always willing to help when she can. Any students planning to go to New York with the International Culture Club and Junior Classical League must attend an important meeting Thursday. Also, you must participate in a car wash on Saturday.
Thank you for watching the West Weekly Report. Please join us again next week at this time. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to this Wednesday, April 6th edition of East Update. I'm Stacy Shapiro, along with Kurt Hatter. All seniors are reminded that they must order their caps and gowns tomorrow or Friday of this week, during 7th and 8th periods. A check or cash in the amount of $7 must accompany the order. A Christmas Carol and the ever-popular Pirates of Penzance were examples of East's fine quality of performance. Now, the Cherry Hill High School East Drama Department is happy to announce that this year's one-act plays competition will be performed May 8th. Only one play from each class will be presented. If you are unfamiliar with the one-act plays, they are student-directed plays of one act, which run usually less than an hour. The one-act competition is open to the public, so please come out and support our drama department. Next week, the Food Service Department is sponsoring a Citrus Fruit Week. Barbara Amon has arranged for related activities in the elementary schools, including guest speakers, bulletin boards, tasting parties, film trips, contests, and fun activities. Now is the time to enjoy Florida oranges and to learn about nutrition, too.
Tomorrow, East Spanish Club will be having its international banquet. The Spanish Club will also be having its carnival with fun and food. We welcome all the visitors from Italy and France. The junior prom will be held this Friday night, April 8th, at the Oletto's Ballroom at 8 o'clock. The two chairpersons are Linda Sager and Nancy Negrelli. If you have previously purchased tickets from the prom, invitations are now available in the grade level office. On April 14th, East Distributive Education Department will be holding its 12th annual fashion show in Cafeteria 1 at 8 o'clock. Everyone is invited, and there will be a prom package as a door prize.
On Friday, April 15th, East's 4th annual variety show will be presented in the auditorium. The Student Congress officers have had auditions, and they have chosen the people who will participate in the show. Many acts, such as bands, comedians, gymnasts, and singers will participate to make this the best variety show ever. Good luck to everyone involved. Tickets are now on sale for $2 from Student Congress representatives. Tickets will be $3 at the door. John McGee and Beth Dunoff participated in a KYW intern program. They have worked at the studio every Saturday since the end of February. On Monday, Beth broadcasted on KYW. John will be on the air in the future.
The Camden County Soil Conservation District is having an essay contest. The topic is How Soil Conservation Benefits Me and My Community. Grades 4 to 12 can participate. The essays will be judged in 3 divisions. First prize is $50 and the second prize is $25. The Scholastic Writing Awards will be announced later. The English department at East is planning to start writing contests within the school starting next year. Ask your English teacher for more details. On Saturday, there will be a full-day video seminar and workshop sponsored by Video Communication Services. Applications are available at Communications. On Sunday, Cherry Hill East participated in the Camden Diocese Forensic League Finals. Trish Olson took first place in the original oratory, and Mike DeProspero and Rick Rohrbeck received first place for duo interpretation. Stacy Shapiro and Ann Lynn were also finalists. Congratulations to all students involved. And now back to Stacy.
On May 4th, there will be a cum laude induction in the East Auditorium. There will be speeches made by President Todd Fisher, Vice President Mike Carusi, Treasurer Danny Price, and Secretary Amy Kanzler. The inductions will be for the top 15% of the senior class. The top 5% of the junior class will also receive honorable mentions. In addition, one honorary member will be named. On May 5th, East Knowledge Bowl team will have its second competition against Eastern High School. We would like to wish good luck to all the Knowledge Bowl team members and to coaches Miss Beck and Mr. Pinzer. East Spring Band Concert will be held Thursday, May 12th at 8 p.m. in the auditorium. All are invited to attend.
On the sports scene, the girls softball team defeated Camden Catholic 3-1 in their opening game Monday. The winning pitcher was Julie Dando. Liz Myers got the winning game hit. April 24th is the March of Dimes Walkathon. Stacy Horwitz and Diana Bovitas are school representatives. Contact them and support this worthwhile event. Congratulations to East Ice Hockey Team, who won first place in the Suburban High School Hockey League by defeating Germantown. Finals were at the end of March.
Today, East Varsity Baseball Team played Camden at 3:30, and freshmen played Camden away at the same time. At Laurel Oak, the golf team competed against Paul VI. Also, East met West in the varsity lacrosse meet. Tomorrow, the track team will go up against Cherry Hill West at 3:30 away. The girls' track teams will compete at home. The lacrosse team will compete again with Germantown Friends. Saturday, the baseball team will play Millsville varsity team at 11 a.m. The boys' track Camden County relays will be held at Woodrow Wilson this year. Please come out and support our athletes. Also at Woodrow Wilson will be girls' track Camden County relays.
Well, that's all for this evening's news. This has been Kurt Hatter along with Stacy Shapiro. Join us for East Update every Wednesday following West News at 7 p.m. Tonight, be sure to stay tuned for the East Girls Lacrosse game following the school news program when they go up against Cherry Hill West. Thank you.
Good evening. This is Michael Arrington welcoming you to Brainerd News. I would like to welcome you all back from the spring break and hope that you had a joyous holiday. To start off tonight's show, here is Amy Peterson with a special interview.
On Friday, March 25th at 7:30 a.m., 12 students from Brainerd left for a trip to Glassboro State College for the South Jersey Science Fair. With us today is Mrs. Shantz, a science teacher here at Brainerd, who traveled with our students to Glassboro. Could you explain to us what the science fair is?
Well, students from all over the South Jersey area brought their projects to Glassboro State College, where they were evaluated by judges. And the judges were looking for the scientific methods that the students followed and to see how well they understood their problems.
Is the science fair an annual event?
Well, it's been held for the past few years, and we're hoping it will become an annual event in the future.
How are students chosen to go into the science fair?
Well, students at Glassboro who made projects, if they wanted to, could take their projects down to Glassboro and submit them for the judging.
Well, what has a bearing on the judge's decision when they're judging the projects?
Well, the judges were looking to see whether the students understood their problem. They were looking to see how well they followed scientific methods and how well they carried them out.
Would you mind showing us some of the projects and awards that your students won?
It would be my pleasure. I'd like to introduce you first to Carrie Domino, who did a project on solar energy.
I wanted to see if you could heat a house completely by the use of solar energy. So I took a procedure and I followed it, and I found out that you could save a lot more money by using solar energy to heat your house.
This is Alan Stein, who was a first-place winner in the field of physics. He also won awards from the U.S. Army and from the Mobil Oil Corporation. Alan, tell us about your project.
Well, my project was just with holograms and lasers, and I investigated the theory of both, and I made my own holograms.
Okay, this is Hillary Cohen, who won an honorable mention, and she had a very interesting problem. Hillary, would you tell us what it was?
The problem of my project was the skepticism affects one extrasensory perception.
This is Mark Heckman, who also had an interesting problem about the five senses. Would you tell us what you found out, Mark?
Well, my problem was to find out how they rely on each other, and I found out that they do rely on each other during some of my activities that I did, like eating with a blindfold on.
Mike Mallinger isn't here today, but I'd like to show you his project. He was also interested in ESP. Next, I'd like to introduce Tracy Campbell, who had a project comparing men and women, which always interests everybody. Tracy, tell us a little about your project.
Well, I wanted to find out if ESP occurred more often with women than with men, so I tested 3 boys and 3 girls. Well, the results varied because of what kind of ESP each person had, so everyone's ESP was different.
This is Jeff Pomerantz, who won an honorable mention in the field of health and medicine. Jeff, tell us about your project.
Well, the title of my project was about caffeine. I wanted to find out if it had any effects on the human body, and if so, what the effects were. I found out that caffeine does, in fact, have effects on the human body, and that if consumed in significant amounts, it can be dangerous.
Andrea Patrick won a second-place award in the field of microbiology. Andrea, tell us about your project.
Well, the purpose of my project was to find out which antiseptic had the greatest effect on staph epidermidis, and I found that the antiseptic with the highest amount of effect was mercurochrome and iodine.
Linda Southwick had an unusual project, and she won an award in physics and also a U.S. Army award. Linda, tell us the title of your project.
The strengths of tempered glass versus anneal.
This is Melina Gray-Bell. She won a chemistry award, and she had a project about salt. Would you tell us about it?
My problem was, what are the effects that salt has on different substances? And I found out by adding salt to different kinds of salt to each substance that it affects it many different ways. And it's a major ingredient to everyday life.
Hey, this is Monica Romani. Monica, tell us, what effect did penicillin have on the lima beans?
Well, after experimenting, I found that penicillin caused delayed growth.
I'd like to acknowledge the work that Ricky Rosenfeld did. He was a second-place winner in the behavioral sciences, but he couldn't be here today. He really had a very good project. I'd also like to thank Steve Coombs, who organized the Glassboro Science Fair, and all the sponsors who donated the prizes, and many corporations, including the Courier Post.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Shantz for being with us here on Brainerd News today.
Congratulations to all the Brainerd students who placed in the South Jersey Science Fair. Mrs. Gordon, one of our science teachers here at Brainerd, had a baby girl on March 23, 1983 at 9:01 a.m. She weighed in at 7 pounds, 15 ounces, and was 21 inches long. The mother and father and baby are all doing well. Well, that wraps it up for tonight's show. I hope you'll tune in to us next week for our regular Brainerd newscast and our Spirit Week special. See you then.